Deftones, Hole in the Earth, Standard Tuning Method, Guitar Tabs, and Guitar Lesson. I'll play all the parts right at the beginning. After that, I'll go back through and give the full explanation. Please hit that subscription button. It's the best way of letting me know that you like this video and you want to see more Deftones stuff just like this. And now, let's try it out. So just to repeat, this is a standard tuning interpretive method for this song here. And for the most part, I think it works pretty well in this tuning. We have this initial, big back and forth riff with the D to E and all that good stuff. And, this is more just kind of about like the pattern that's happening. And it changes a little bit, as we see it again throughout the song. But this initial time, basically we just kind of want to start with, maybe the top four or bottom four here of the E chord, the open E, 2A, 2D, and 1G. All right, and initially it's just a 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, and then we'll come off to a D5 with the extra, compounded A on top of it. So like an open A with the open D and a 2 on the G. All right, and we're just going to go back and forth between that and back to that E. Okay, a couple strums on the E. And then we just drop down to a regular D5 here with the open D, 2G, 3B. And with this, we just kind of do a little shuffle, hesitate, little shuffle, hesitate, and just carry that out, maybe 4 times. All right, something like that. And then we kind of go back to the beginning. We just kind of skip the initial, first 3 big dynamic hits. We just start right at that final the first E to D. All right, that little back and forth. We just kind of start there on the second time through. It's a little bit of a shuffling of the composition of it. But we carry that out and we do it even an extra time. So like a back and forth between the E to that D, maybe 3 times instead of just the 2. All right, then the 2 E hits. Drop down to our D5, shuffle that out. All right, and now we go all the way to the very beginning with the 4 dynamic hits of the E. And then a little back and forth between that D to E a couple times, and then just land on a D5 and let it ring. Okay, so just 2 chords. It's just kind of all about getting the back and forth between them just right throughout the the riff composition there. And the verse comes in, and we can kind of clean it up a bit, chill it out, and it's just a couple chords here really too. Start with just a regular D chord, so open D, 2G, 3B, 2E, and you can just kind of give it a single strum or just give it a couple strums, right on beat. It's up to you. All right, then we do trying to incorporate, what the octave guitar is, scaling around with. it basically just goes to a D sus4. So our same shape we had there, but we just make that high E the 2, a 3. Okay, a couple strums there is fine. And then we'll come off to, which is kind of overall like a F sharp minor happening, but they're really emphasizing the C sharp or D flat bass note. So it's almost like we're making that shape. It's like a minor 7 kind of vibe with it. So it sounds kind of complicated, but just we're going to like part of a chord. And landing on this 4, the A, for that C sharp D flat, all right, that's kind of where the bass hits. So we want that, and then we just hit 2s on the D, G, and B under it. All right, a couple strums there is fine. And then after we do the couple strums, we want to add this extra high F sharp note. All right, so we just include that with it. So we're just basically barring all the 2s all the way down now, keeping that 4 on the A. So we went. Okay, so nothing too crazy in that verse. And for the pre-chorus section here, which is also kind of the bridge section where it kind of, everything chills out and gets a little, spacey throughout after that second chorus, I believe. This is pretty much what's happening overall with that section. But yeah, also the pre-chorus, so after that verse. And we're just kind of playing around with that same D spot there, the open D, 2G, 3B. All right, just kind of hit it once, hold off, hit it again, and then we want to try to incorporate like the higher scale notes that Stephen Carpenter's doing. It'd be a little bit of a trick to try to do it high, so we can just kind of take those notes and bring them down into the chord. And I think it works pretty well this way, where we hit our D5. All right, strum it again, and then we do the open D, 4D, back to open D. Okay, it's trying to emulate what the higher arpeggiated stuff is doing there. And so that's the initial part, kind of a D5 to D thing happening there. And the next chord is kind of that similar shape that we had from the previous section, like the F sharp minor with the C sharp, bass note there. And with this, it's a bit of a, inversed stretch here. Nothing too crazy though, I don't think. Basically, we just want to hit 4s on the A and D and have that 2 on the G just still there. And it's pretty easy. We can just, come off of where we were here. Let's keep that 2 on the G and just bring the the ring and the pinky up to hit those 4s on the A and D. So we got that, kind of that minor vibe going on. All right, and what we want to do here is just kind of strum that, and then we do this back and forth on the G, the 1, 2, 1. All right. Keeping those 4s there the whole time. All right, and you can do it that way. If that's too much of a stretch for you, you can try something like this, where we hit the 4s on the A and D, and then just kind of throw in maybe that extra octave on the 6 of the G. All right, and then with the pinky you could go, and then on the D go 6, 7, 6. Okay, up to you if you like that way better. I don't think it sounds quite as cool, but I like this version. All right, and it's basically just a back and forth with those 2 different chords. For the chorus, it gets kind of cool here if we want to, try to incorporate the arpeggiated higher stuff Carpenter's doing into the overall chords happening. It sounds pretty cool this way, and initially we want to switch to this new chord, B7 sus2, which basically we're just barring the 2s and then just adding the 4 on the D. All right, 2 on the A, 4D, 2G and B. All right, and basically we strum that kind of give it a down strum, and once we hit that 2 on the B, that's kind of like the first note of the arpeggio. Right, and we're just going to come back, hit the 2G, 4D. All right, do that twice, the 2B, 2G, 4D. All right, and then we're going to just kind of lift off of the high E. All right, so we get an open there. Come right back down so that we can hit the 2B and then the 2G. All right, and then just go through the scale once again, the 2B, 2G, 4D. So slowly it'd be like. All right, so kind of a fun, just picking through with that chord. And the next thing we do is just basically shift it up a set where we want this F sharp minor. All right, and so that's the same deal, just barring the 2s, and here we can add the 4 on the A and the D. And it's pretty much the same picking scale that we did in the previous section. All right, we hit our 2 on the B, and then we just pick back up 2G, 4D. Lift off for our high E, come right back down to hit the 2B, 2G. And then just pick our 2B, 2G, 4D. All right, and in the first chorus, we just go through it once, just like that, the B to the F sharp. Just do that once, and then we finish on a D suspended second. So just, open D, 2G, 3B with the open high E, and we just let that ring. The following choruses, they go through the B to F sharp more than that, probably at least 3 or 4 times. All right, at the end, we go through our, our intro back and forth heavy riff, that deal. But after we go through that, there's another part which it just kind of like takes that back and forth and just, shortens it and repeats it, where we go like a E5, just to open low E power chord, the, open E2 on the A, 2 on the D. And then, we're not in a drop tuning here, so we need our kind of low D back to E. So we can just kind of cheat a little bit and go, open A and D together. So it's kind of like a D with that added A bass note. All right, and then we just go to 2s on the A and D for a little E action there. And then it's just a quick back and forth open there.